How long can you run? Or
The
something?
interview.
Can't you run a long time or something like that?
Like hours.
No, I know about it. I know about it, but there's nothing more interesting than what you're doing right now. So I can ask you about the ultramarathons. I looked up that you won the New Jersey Marathon 4 times.
That's true.
I thought that in the notes that it was like a typo. I thought it was run. And it was supposed to be run, but it was what? No, you actually won it 4 times.
Won it, yeah.
Did they not allow the African?
I think so.
How did you beat them?
It's Jersey, so no.
Just put a mind spell. There's no money in it, so there's no prize money.
So they don't run it.
So yeah, they only weekend warriors.
Got it.
But I was still pretty fast back.
You ran
then.
2 marathons in a week.
Yeah.
But you were running them every day.
Crazy stories. I won 2 marathons back-to-back days. So I did the Hamptons Marathon on a Saturday and Yonkers Marathon on a Sunday. I won them both.
Wow. Those are winnable.
Those are winnable, yeah.
Those you could win back
It was
to
an
back.
interesting dynamic change from the Hamptons to Yonkers.
Yeah, if you win like Nairobi, then maybe.
And for real.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let a witch run it though.
Yeah, that is true. You have unfair advantage.
Wouldn't make it there.
Holy shit.
Is there a peer that has done an effect to you that you're unable to explain how?
That's the best thing. That's the best feeling ever when somebody just rattles you and you go, oh my God, how did you do that? And the problem is I go right into Andrew mode, which is I want to know how.
Yes.
Right? Because that's my default setting. But then I also want to be like, oh, enjoy this.
Will they share it with you? Is there like a code amongst?
Typically, yes. Also, in this kind of situation, here's the thing. There's people that write, or there's people that are creators and there's performers. And there's very few both. There's so few in what I do because to be creative is one thing, but to actually execute.
So are there certain guys that can create the, what do you call them? I don't want to belittle them by calling them tricks. Let's call them tricks. Okay, so there's certain people.
It's funny when somebody calls it a vaudevillian, like, do your skit, do your skit.
This is with us too.
The Friars Club, do that skit again.
I love your skit. We call them effects within the industry.
Oh, within the community.
That's what guys
Got it.
Yeah. That's what he told Jordan in 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be an effect.
So there are guys that maybe come up with the effects, but they don't have the skills to actually execute them.
I would say the skills is one way to put it, but a lot of them are just not performers. So it's you know,
false flag.
SNL. How many writers are there? I'm not saying they're not talented, but getting on
different skills,
different muscle.
Execution is the difficult part in this profession.
And were you always good at that, or is that a skill that you had to develop?
I think it was skill developed. Like I've been doing this since I was a teenager, but I did magic at restaurants when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And that was really what got me good. That's where the 10,000, 20,000 hours were put in because I got my first restaurant gig when I was 14.
Do you remember where it was?
100%.
Where?
It's like a big part of my book. It's called Zia's. It's in Michigan.
Yep.
I walk there half a mile from my house. Don't know how I had the confidence. Good sales tactics. Talked my way into this thing. Tuesday nights, that was my night. I did 3 hours.
And
They
you'd
paid me
go
like $50.
table to table.
Dude, imagine you're at a restaurant. You got a babysitter. The kids are at home. And some 14-year-old kid comes up to the table wanting to do card tricks.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, get out of here. You kidding me?
Okay, go on.
Some people would, some people wouldn't. But some people, so you have to learn School of Hard Knocks how to win people over.
Quick.
Quick is the name of the game. That's exactly it. What is your body language like? What you iterate. When I turn this way, it's different than if I go head on. The same way that animals, when they go eye to eye, they feel imposing.
So you're like looking over your shoulder almost. You're not giving them too much attention.
I give a time constraint. There's a million things that I learned how to approach a table and in less than 10 seconds, typically 5 seconds, answer every question that was in their mind that was unanswered, which is right when they see me, automatically they go, who is this? And do I have to give this person money? Do I have cash? What are they doing here? Are they any good? Did the restaurant know they're here? All of those questions I try to answer in the least amount of words possible.
Can you give us that breakdown? I imagine you haven't done this in decades. So like, what was your 5 second, I'm going to break the table. They're having a big dinner. It's a family dinner. Somebody's just got engaged as a celebration. You're going to interrupt it. How do you stop that in 5 seconds?
First off, you find the right moment. So if people are like, husband and wife is crying and they're like having a...
You're in there.
So I hear you've been cheating on her. Well, I've got something amazing as well.
Can you make this bitch disappear?
Okay. Can you keep that in his pants? I'm like, I can only make things up here, not disappear. So you walk up, and the first thing I say is, you guys are in luck. Like right away, that's a great way. At an angle, you guys are in luck. The owner brought me in as a special treat to you tonight, but I only have 2 minutes. So it's like away.
This is great.
You only have 2 minutes.
I only have 2
You're
minutes.
leaving.
I'm leaving.
They're getting something. They don't know what they're getting, so curiosity
The owner
ensues.
has me here as a treat, immediately takes away the first thing, which to me is like, yo, guys coming up to me, do I have to have some cash right now? Awkwardness. I'm taking away that. I'm taking away all of the resistance.
And
all of the little,
if you say no, you're being disrespectful to the person that gave you as the gift.
of course, the owner brought me in
If
special.
you clean
Right.
windshields on the street, you should be paying attention to this
right now,
If you sell anything,
If you're cleaning windshields, you're moving up. But that's literally what I've done is sales training, is understand how to think like a mentalist. Because most of what I do is selling an item, which is amazement. Right? That's what I sell. You sell laughter. I sell amazement. I sell wonder moments that are memorable, that you go, oh, how did he know that? Right? And that feeling you had at that moment when you felt it. But everyone knows it's not real. And I know it's not real. I'm not really reading your mind. I've explained that through and through. I've learned how people think. The core skills of what I do, if you can distill them from the performance, because guessing Martin Luther King or guessing a name is not effective in your life. But if you have the same skills to read people and know exactly, like I said, what they're thinking, how do you improve your sales? By
How is
percentages.
that not reading their mind though? Like, what is the
Well,
difference?
was that reading minds by when I walk up, know what they're going to think in that moment? Like, that's what a great salesperson does.
I guess, but I would say that those things are the same in a lot of ways. Like,
That's exact-
even if you push them down a direction to think a certain thing, like you are still at the end of the day, you have to figure out Jordan.
Right.
And that is, I would say, reading his mind to a certain extent.
Oh, absolutely. Well, again, I got the letter because you did. What was the letter you thought of? Which letter did you go with?
when
I said pick the letter.
So I was thinking A.
Yeah, so he did. I told you switch the one before. I said it. I knew
Yeah.
it. So because I had told him don't do a vowel, and so he did. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna screw him over and do a vowel instead." Because I mentioned the Scrabble tiles. I said there'd be no vowels, and so he went to the A, and I said I knew that he would do the D, and then he jumped over. I can show you how I put the whole thing together.
Right.
But that's the interesting part.
Okay, so you're 14 years old. You do you ever in your life? I remember reading somewhere that you broke your fear of rejection at a young age. Was there ever a time in your life?
I had to, because man, people just shot you down at a restaurant, and if you go to 5 tables in a row where they get out of here, they're like, "Oh, dude, I don't have time for this." Like dismissive, rude people that don't have thick skin. That's done.
So what did you do with dismissive rude?
So I think what I learned, I had some sort of weird schizophrenic break in my mind, which I've used for the rest of my life. That's saved me rejection. Is I silo. I literally created 2 people. The same way you have an agent, your agent negotiates your deals.
Yeah.
Right? They do bad cop. You're like, I don't want to do this gig. You tell them that, right? You don't want to get on the phone. You're Andrew. You're the nice guy.
Yeah.
So if you can create a disconnect that you just somehow slice in my brain where I decided they aren't insulting me. They don't know me.
They're insulting the circumstance.
They're insulting. Nope. I had like in my mind, there's Oz the entertainer, there's Oz Pearlman. These are 2 different people. You know, it's like a Sia and it's like the Daft Punk guy. One's got the helmet, one takes it off, he takes his kids to school. Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
I just somehow took the sting away because I realized this is not going to sit well, because after 2 tables reject me, I go to the next table with negative energy.
Right. And they can
You
feel
guys.
it, they can sense
Yeah, but
it.
I'm also rude and mean, and I got to take that away. So I had to figure out a way for my own self-preservation to be like, okay, I'm going to put it all on me. They had a bad night. They might have just been home with their kids. Their kid might have puked. I don't know. I had like some sort of maturity level where I'm like, they have issues. It's not my fault. So I'm going to let that go. They don't know the real me. This didn't hurt at all. And I think that's good. You know where I learned it from? Buddies who are good with girls.
Yeah.
Who just had numbers game where I look at them and I'm like, I couldn't do this in my real life. She rejects me. She's like, you got to be kidding right now. I'm like, oh, because there was no Oz the entertainer. She didn't want me.
Yeah.
But when I was performing, I could separate myself. And so I had to learn, and I think it's useful in life. Anything you're doing, you don't realize it, you're selling. So everyone's selling something.